Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. So I did recently build up some of the HG Gundam Battlogue kits, and I'm going to be doing some reviews here for you guys. The first one starting off with the Blazing Gundam. It's a very cool design based off of the God Gundam from G Gundam series, which I'm a big fan of, as you know. So I was interested to take a look at this kit, just kind of being a fan of G Gundam. I wasn't super convinced on this design though, but we'll see how the kit might change my mind in today's episode of Review. From the Gundam Breaker Battlogue line, I'm basically expecting it to be a continuation of the Build Fighters line of HG kits, where they're taking older kits, not necessarily like super old kits by any means, but they're taking older kits, adding some new parts, and basically making a new design out of it. And that's not always a bad thing, but it doesn't always work out. So we'll see how it works out in this case and in some of the other future kits we'll be taking a look at from the Breaker Battlogue line. We got some cool box art here on the front with it doing this blazing kick with that glowing foot on the side of the box. You got basically the same thing there. You can see this is number 4 in the line, down that little 04 in the corner. On the bottom of the box here, we got a look at the kit, what it looks like all painted up, front and back. You got a little bit of information there about the Blazing Gundam action, displaying the blazing kick there, and then you got to look at the different faceplate options. It's got the mask that you can wear, it's got the beam tonfa there for its weapon on the arm. That looks very cool. The back of the legs can open up like with the original God Gundam. And on the top of the box here, pretty interesting how they're utilizing kind of the style of the mobile game here for create your own one-of-a-kind Gunpla by mixing and matching parts there. An introduction to the Battlogue series, and then let's go ahead and get the box opened up and see what we got inside here. Inside here we're going to have a bunch of runners. Some of them will be new, some of them will be recycled from the HG God Gundam, of course. Checking out the instruction manual, the top half is just going to have the same artwork that was featured on the front of the box, but on the bottom of the half here we have some more information about the Gundam, the pilot, and a very nice illustration, which does look really cool, of the Gundam. I do really like this illustration quite a bit, really nice drawing. There's the information section for you there in Japanese and in English if you want to pause the video if you're interested in reading that. A little bit about G Gundam there, and also Misa Satsukino, who is again just the pilot there. You can read a little bit about her. On the back side, there's information about the blazing kick, the beam tonfa, the backpack, the beam sword, the blazing mask, and the manipulator. Of course, you got information just kind of about all the aspects of the design. And of course, it's based off of the HGFC God Gundam there. You can see you got a color guide down here at the bottom. Pretty standard colors: dark blue, red, yellow, white. You got a parts list inside, and you can see there are a number of X's on there. So of course, there's going to be some leftover parts from the recycled runners from the God Gundam. And then once again here, it's showing off how you can mix and match parts, just different HG Battlogue kit parts. And the rest of the manual is just going to be going through the construction of everything. So pretty standard here for an HG kit. Here's a look at the foil sticker sheet. Not that big, basically just for the eyes, cameras, and a couple little black applications around on the kit. Nothing too crazy, so that's looking pretty good. We've got some polycaps here in gray, PC001. Also some beam saber effect parts here in clear green, SB5. To be originally released all the way back in 2002 for those. And the first few runners are going to be, of course, from the original God Gundam. So here's a look at runner A. This is all in gray with a few yellow parts over there on the side. If you take a look at the runner marking there, it says HGFG 144 scale G Gundam, Bandai 2010 there for that one. Runner C originally would have been in red, but is now in dark blue for this release. Runner D1 is a bunch of parts here in white, and then runner D2 is going to be a copy of this half of the runner right there. And these are going to be all of our new parts here for the kit. So runner F is a 4-color runner here, a couple of yellow parts up there at the top, mostly red, a couple of clear green parts there for the new foot effect part, and then some new dark blue parts down there at the bottom. And runner G1 is some new parts in white, and runner G2 is a copy of this half of the runner right there. So that's everything in the box. Let's go ahead and get it put together, see what it looks like. So here it is all built up, guys, and I gotta say, when this design was first revealed, I was not that big of a fan of it. You know, I love G Gundam, I love the design of the God Gundam. I wasn't too keen on the changes to this. I don't really like how it looked like they just took all the parts of the God Gundam and just like rearranged it on the body, like took the arm gauntlets and put them on the ankles and took the backpack parts and put them on the arms. It was just kind of goofy looking, but after building the kit, I gotta say, I've definitely come around a little bit on it. I definitely like the design a lot more now that I've built it. I think it's a pretty awesome looking HG kit, and it's gonna be fun to play around with and later on do some customizing on. I plan on using this kit to do a little bit of kit bashing. We'll get into that, I guess, in a later episode. For now, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this in detail. And the first thing you may notice is that I did something that I normally don't do, and that I did all the panel lining on this just real quick, just with the Gundam markers, gray in the white areas, black on the dark blue areas, and then on the red and yellow areas I used a brown Gundam marker for those. And that's the one thing, these beam tampos here on the back fall off very easily, so I'm just going to get that out of the way right now. They are specific to the left and right side. You can see there's a little peg hole there on one side and not on the other. And that is for plugging them onto the backpack here, but the problem is that they just don't really want to stay there very well. But anyway, for me, the point of these reviews is always to show you guys exactly what you get straight out of the box. That's why I normally don't do panel lining on there, because that's something extra. So if you just came onto the video and you see the kit and you think, wow, that looks great, and then you buy it and build it yourself and you realize, oh wait, it looks better because he panel lined it and I don't want to have to do that. That's the reason why I usually like to stick with only showing you guys exactly what you get out of the box, but I know some of you guys do like to see it with panel lining, and especially in white areas, it helps to be able to see it on video, see where the details are. So let me know your thoughts on that if you'd like to see that continued in other kits and stuff. Anyway, we do have a few stickers for the eyes, the head camera up there as usual. This little black bit here at the bottom of the knee is a sticker, and then here on the foot you have stickers right there. And around here on the back you also have black stickers that fit into those little bits right there as well. One other thing that I did that will differ from how this kit is directly out of the box is I also sharpened the V-fins. There's safety nubs on each of these 4 little yellow points of the V-fin, and I just cut those off and shaved those down so it's nice and pointy. Even though this is based on an older kit, the articulation is still pretty nice. So you have a double joint there in the neck to give you a good upward movement and downward movement there for the neck. It's a little lacking here in the stomach section, as you can really only bend it forward to about there, back to about there, not really a whole lot, and you can kind of move it side to side a little bit. The front skirts move together up and down, but you can clip those in the center to separate them if you want. The back skirt also moves up and down a little bit, just as this whole big thing there on the back. The side skirts will move side to side a little bit out like that. You can rotate this section right here where the beam saber handles are plugged in. Those also just pop out of there, and then you can use those for your beam sabers. We'll see that here in a little bit. The shoulder section will move out to the front like that, and then it's just a ball joint connected onto there. Ultimately, you can bring the arm all the way up to there, which is pretty nice upward movement for that. Then the rest of the movement is going to be pretty standard. Rotation there at the top. The elbow joint is going to allow you to bend about 90 degrees. The wrist is just on a ball joint. And one great thing about this kit is that it actually includes full fists, closed fists. So you have some nice hand option parts included with this kit. We'll see the rest of those here in a minute. And of course, here on the side of the arms, these parts will open up when it's doing its blazing kick. So that's just sort of an added effect of that. Each 3 of those little sections can move on its own as well, and then closes up kind of nicely. The entire hip section in there will rotate side to side a tiny bit. Otherwise, you have rotation here at the top of the thigh. You can bring the leg out pretty far to the side, which is good, especially for a martial arts type mobile suit. You can bring the leg all the way up to the front really far, except obviously it's doing a weird thing with the front skirts, so that's not really ideal just because of the size of the knee. You could like put the knee on top of the skirt armor and get it to be something like that. Still kind of weird. You got a double joint here in the knee to get a good full bend there. No separation of that knee armor though. You do have a cool gimmick here on the back of the leg, carried over from the God Gundam. This bit here pops out, and then you can flip that up for some extra vents up inside the back of the leg there. The ankle will move to the front, to the back, a little bit side to side. You have some good full detail up underneath the feet, which is nice. And this little bit here on the front of the ankle armor will also move up there like that. Like I said, it's like the gauntlet details moved from the forearm of the original design down here onto the ankles. It's kind of weird looking, to be honest. Around here on the backpack, nothing moves on that. That's just one fixed piece basically. But you have the standard 2-peg plug system there, so you can change backpacks on this really easily with a bunch of different other HG kits. So for our weapons, if you take off the beam saber handle, you can plug in one of your 2 beam saber blades here into that. And that's going to look very nice, but of course we also have the beam tonfas, so you can plug your effect part into the tonfa as well, and that will be held in the hand and go on the back of the arm with a nice full blade effect there. And for hand options, aside from the closed fist, you also have these open hands like this for the left and the right side. No glowing effect part version of that though. We also have the holding hands for holding onto the beam sabers or the beam tonfas. Now you do have a glowing effect part for the foot, right? So that just looks like that. It's just 2 pieces sandwiched together. So you do have a seam line on that, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, we'll see how that looks in action here in just a bit. And you have an option for the face. If you don't like that red mask on there, you can just use the front of the head of just the original design. You can just swap that out. The actual center faceplate piece is different inside there, so you will have to do that. I just have this out here to show you guys that you do have pretty much all the parts to make the original head, but you would have to use this V-fin, and then you also have this camera part, which you'll use instead of the red part here for the mask. So You could make it as the original head, or you use the new faceplate piece and you have like the new head with the different faceplate. And you have a handful of other leftover parts as well. Nothing really too noteworthy though, except you have the shoulders. This piece that goes here on the front of the shoulders originally is now moved onto the back skirt of this kit here. So you'd have to take those off if you want to make the full original shoulders of the kit. Otherwise, the rest of the parts, you can't really make too much with it. So as we take a look at the kit in some different action poses, both on the ground and up on action base, you guys will see that the articulation of this kit is really quite nice. It is able to do some good martial arts, different poses, some really dynamic posing, and the effect parts look nice on the foot. The weapon options are cool with the beam sabers and the beam tonfas. Everything's all good and well. That said, you can feel its limitations a little bit in comparison to like the build burning Gundam or the try burning Gundam, for example. Those ones definitely had a slight edge when it comes to doing different martial arts poses and stuff like that, as like Gundams that would be very comparable to what this one is essentially. But although I still have some hesitations on some aspects of the design, I think this ends up being a very nice kit. And there's definitely a lot of potential with this one, just with what you have. You have some really nice details around on the kit. And overall, the color separation is really quite nice. The parts are really nicely separated. You don't really have too much in the way of seam lines anywhere on the kit. No, there's not really a whole lot of that, so that's good. And overall, I think it's just a really great looking kit. The weapon options and just the overall design of it give you some really nice different posing options with this one that you don't normally get from like your standard Gundam that comes with like a rifle, maybe one beam saber or two beam sabers, and then a shield. This one, just weapons being slightly different on this. You having some different options and different ways to pose it. Just gives it an overall little bit different style and flavor to it. What do you guys think about the kit? What do you think about the design? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And of course, if you have any other questions, you can leave those down there as well. Thank you guys all so much for checking out the video. If you want to check out the kit for yourself, of course, the link to HG Gundam store will be down in the video description below, as well as my coupon code there that you guys can use, so check that out. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Like the video, comment, subscribe. It's all greatly appreciated. Until next time, hope you all guys are all having a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.